So what I wanted to do was to just start off with a little bit about who we were, so just get a little bit of a background. So our journey was that we opened as Baby Room in 2005 with our Webbs Road nursery. And then we opened our Lavender Hill nursery, and 2 years later our Clapham Old Town nursery. We did have a nursery in Balham, but we sold that in 2017 when we went through this improvement process, I suppose. We felt like it didn't really fit in with our approach and where we were moving to, so we sold that after a change in management. So in 2016, when I joined the team, we kind of always felt connected with the Froebelian approach without really understanding what it was completely. And we decided we wanted to take the team on a new journey with us. So after a little bit of Googling, I discovered early education, and Chris Hussey was then able to put me in contact with Stella Louis and ultimately the short courses. So at the beginning of our journey, we had limited knowledge of the in-depth nature of the Froebelian approach, and when I met with Stella for a coffee, it was clear we were about to embark on something pretty special. I'll never forget Stella telling me how our practitioners needed to find themselves within their practice, and that the short courses and the Froebelian approach would help make that happen. As a small business with a limited training budget, when Stella mentioned that we could apply for a grant funded by the Froebel Trust, it was like music to my ears. And finding suitable dates when applying for applying through this process wasn't difficult at all. We thought that with it being so new, there might be a few teething problems, but Chris was very helpful in keeping us in the loop and communicating with both the tutors and us throughout. We felt very honoured that Baby Room, as we were when we began our first element in 2017 in September, we were one of the first nursery groups to complete the short courses after its pilot scheme at the Yellow Dot. Every member of our team completed the first element, which was led by Stella Louis and Trisha Johnson. They complemented each other perfectly, and I remember feeling honoured that we were surrounded by such inspiring Froebelians that had such a depth of knowledge. We were introduced to new concepts such as unity, the whole, and forms, reflecting on our practice and making sense of what all this means to us. Tina Bruce says that the way you set up your environment dictates what learning takes place. So we were reflecting on our environment, which was a huge part of this process, and thinking completely about the forms of knowledge, life and beauty, and what they not only meant for us and our team, but also for our children and the families as well. So I've titled this The Middle because over the past few years there have been a whole lot of training which our practitioners completed, including elements 1, 3 and 5, and somewhere in the middle we had our very own eureka moment. Once we decided that we were ready for a change and we had outgrown Baby Room, we had a huge task to decide what our new name would be. We played around with many different words, but nothing seemed to fit. We were becoming more Froebelian both within the settings and with the vision we had for the company. And we got to the point where we needed something perfect. We were thinking about different types of trees with the nurseries, were we to call it different nursery, a different tree, for example, and still kind of have an overarching name. We just weren't sure at all. And then it was after an email conversation that I actually had with Victoria at the Froebel Trust, where she informed me that Froebel's favourite tree was the linden tree, and eureka. As we have, of course, had new staff join us, from practitioners to management level, we have been able to arrange for them to complete at least element 1, either through hosting the courses at our setting or attending settings elsewhere and learning through others' practice. Having the opportunity to come together for over a number of days, especially in our environment as we're open 52 hours a week, 51 weeks of the year, it's rare. And when we do dedicate time, we want to make sure it's well spent. I always know that when we book dates for the next element, this is of value. Not only can we count on Stella to continue this journey with us, we know that the days will be filled with reflection, knowledge, activities, and will give us renewed inspiration in our practice. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the continued impact and then our continued impact as we move forward the next couple of slides. As mentioned, a very special moment happened for us during our journey. Through the short courses, as we reflected on who we are as an early years provider and how our brand, including our name and our staff, represented our overall aim, changing our name to reflect our Froebelian practice was a very powerful thing, and we would not have done this without the specific guidance of the short courses or indeed without Stella. The practice and choices we see practitioners make on a daily basis demonstrate the impact of the training received, which is then reinforced through management with the resources brought and further guidance through mentoring and coaching that all the staff go on to receive. It's also very helpful to have Stella, who I consider my mentor, just an email away. Since beginning the course, we have had a change in our team, as I've mentioned. We've had new members join, and reflecting on the practitioners who we bring into the team is a crucial part of our journey, as they need to have some basic understanding of the principles of Froebelian practice in order to work successfully with us. New members of the team are given an extensive induction all about Linden Tree before being sent on element 1 of the short courses, as we believe internal training, learning from their colleagues, and then having the reinforcement from the short course tutors all come together as part of a whole. As well as having access to the full extent of the short courses, we were also able to introduce the rich network we have become a part of, including the Froebel Network gatherings in Richmond, the conference in Edinburgh, visiting other settings such as Annan, attending the Froebel Trust conferences, completing level 6 the Froebel certificates, visiting Kyle Howe in Germany, and ultimately me becoming a trustee, which has been fantastic. An extra part of element 5, which was the mother songs, was attending Tina's Kitchen in March, and from the completion of the element last year, we began to create song posters, both for staff and parents, to use as a resource and to remind them constantly about the importance of songs and rhymes as a strong foundation for reading and writing. This one that's here is aimed at children over the age of 2. Without the guidance of Stella, Catherine, Solly and Tina, we would not have been able to create something so meaningful for our practice. And as Stella reminds us, it's our pedagogical responsibility to share knowledge. Our impact on the families and community through information sharing, including newsletters monthly and annually. These are 2 of our last annual newsletters up on screen at the moment. And most recently, due to this unfortunate situation of COVID, through our parent and child engagement program, which is emailed out to all of our parents every day and is posted on our Facebook and Instagram pages. This includes a Froebelian Friday segment every week to educate our parents on the principles behind our approach and see how they can use this to enrich the activities we are sending out each day. So to conclude, I wanted to put in 3 of my own eyes. The short courses have been an integral part of our journey, which we know is not over yet. They have improved our practice, shaped our environments and our staff teams, and they have inspired us through the approach to continue to learn more, know more, and do more. Thank you.